Hammertime.
What's up everyone, welcome back to another Hammertime video. Today we're going to be reviewing this Glenn Lucas roughing gouge. Without further ado, let's go and jump right in. Okay, so first things first, it's a 3/4 inch roughing gouge. The flute is 3/4 on this one, so it's considerably larger than a standard roughing gouge. I think the outside is closer to 1 inch, because I have this other roughing gouge here is 7/8, and you can see the difference here. The Glenn Lucas one is considerably larger, which realistically is actually a great thing, because when you're roughing out stuff, you don't always want a small one. Like if you're doing pens, you know, it can help, but this one works great on pens, to be honest. This one works just fine. But this one actually is great for roughing stuff out, because when you're roughing stuff out, you want something that's sturdy, that you can rough stuff out, that's out around blank, really good. So this is M2 high-speed steel, made in Sheffield, England by Hamlet Tools, specifically for Glenn Lucas. As you can see, his signature is here, this written signature. It's not hand signed, you can see, but it's printed on the wood. It's got a nice brass ferrule, stained beech handle, very nice. Overall fit and finish, very nice, very top notch, and it feels really nice when you hold it. Originally I thought the handle was much too short, but you know, now I've actually come to like it. I just find it, you know, pretty much the perfect length. So let's go ahead and do some roughing out of this piece I have on the lathe right now. Okay, so this piece is pretty out of round, as you can see. Kicking this around. We're just going to take some nice passes here and just rough this out. It's smooth in 2 passes. That's pretty dang quick. Just right here. So that's already rounded out here. And this is pretty green wood. It's pretty much unseasoned. It hasn't actually dried too much. It's probably about maybe 4 or 5 months old now, since it was cut, and it's just been sitting around, and it seems pretty fine. But this is a wood, I really don't know what it is. It's originally supposed to be a bush, but this was overgrown, and that's why it was taken down. And these pieces are just smaller pieces out of what I actually got. But this roughing gouge certainly roughed that out real quick, so let's just take down this edge so you can see how it takes down diagonally. So we're getting a really smooth surface here. Like, this doesn't even need to be sanded. You can apply a coat of finish to something like this. This is done. This is probably equivalent of at least 600, maybe 800 to 1,000 grit here. This is very smooth off the tool. And I have this with a 45 bevel. That's what it comes with. And you can change it. I've seen people with 35, 40. It's totally up to you. But this is the 45 it came with, and I'm really actually happy with this. So what do I think about the Glenn Lucas signature roughing gouge? Well, to be honest, I love it. And also, just so you know, this is not a biased review. I did some work for my grandpa, he bought me this tool in exchange for it, and it's not biased or anything. This is a completely honest review. I'm not, you know, gonna say anything that's only good about this, although I can't find anything that I don't like about this, because it's just such a great, well-made tool. It's M2 steel, which, you know, M2 lasts for a long time and it gets really sharp, but it doesn't last as long as M42, you know, just because M42 is used to, you know, harder steel, lasts longer. But to be honest, this is going to be a roughing gouge that lasts me for a really long time. It's got a pretty dang long actual roughing gouge that you can use. And let's go ahead and I'll show you how to sharpen it real quick. Because this is just one of the really simple tools to sharpen, and there's really 2 ways to sharpen it. You can do it freehand, or you can do it in a pocket jig or a V-arm, whatever you want to call that. I just prefer to do it freehand because it's really simple, and I'll just show you how to grind the 45-degree bevel real quick. Okay, so for sharpening, I sharpen it at 45 degrees. I got this little setup block I made, and reads right here 45 degrees, so we're good to go. Lines up with the bevel on the tool, and all you're gonna do is keep it flat on the tool platform, push it up to the wheel, and then rotate it side to side straight, and try and keep everything as straight as possible. Really similar to a bottom bowl gouge, although on the bottom bowl gouge you can sweep it just a little bit to keep the wings from catching. On the roughing gouge you want them pretty much always perfectly straight. So they're always, if you put them like this, they're always pretty much perfectly straight. Because you really don't want a tip protruding on a roughing gouge or wings on it. It'd be kind of dangerous. It would kind of, you know, the small tang here wouldn't be very good if you were using wings to shape with a piece this big and not a solid shank here. So let's turn the grinder on and I'll show you how to sharpen this. So let it get up to speed. This is just a white aluminum oxide wheel. CBM would probably be a little better. It leaves a nicer edge, but this just has worked fine. And that's all it takes. It leaves you with a really nice, clean bevel. And this 45-degree bevel has worked just fine, but feel free to change it when you get it. It's really simple, and it's just personal preference at this point. I've used 40, works just fine too. So now you know how to sharpen it, and if you're interested in purchasing this tool, I'll leave links to it down below. You can purchase it straight through Glenn Lucas's website from Ireland, and it does take a little while for it to get shipped to you, but it's really quite a very cost-effective gouge. It really doesn't cost that much in comparison to some other ones on the market. And I know it has a a pretty wide flute. Realistically, it's kind of in between of a 3/4 and a 1 1/4 because it's about 1 inch in comparison to some other ones out there. And it's a pretty well-rounded gouge. So overall, really like it. Highly recommend it. Leave links to it down below. And if you liked the video, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Until next time, guys. Happy building.